Renu Rana Ra.
On this occasion we will discuss the history of Hatshepsut. Hatshepsut was the longest reigning female pharaoh in ancient Egypt. He reigned for 20 years in the 15th century BC. Queen Hatshepsut is considered one of the most successful pharaohs of Egypt. However, the traces of his successful leadership were attempted to be erased in history by the next pharaoh, Thutmose III. Hatshepsut was born around 1508 BC. She was the eldest daughter and the only child born to the Egyptian king Thutmose I from his chief wife and queen, Ahmose. It was hoped that Hatshepsut would one day become queen of Egypt. After the death of her father, 12-year-old Hatshepsut was married to her half-brother Thutmose II. Thutmose II was the son of Thutmose I by a concubine of less rank than Queen Ahmose. This marriage of descendants of one father was a common practice of the time meant to ensure the purity of the royal lineage. During the reign of Thutmose II, Hatshepsut assumed the traditional role of queen and chief consort. After 15 years together, Thutmose II met his death, leaving Hatshepsut a widow before she was 30. Queen Hatshepsut had no sons, only a daughter named Neferur and her infant male heir named Thutmose III. Thutmose III was born to a concubine named Isis. Because Thutmose III was too young to take the throne without help, Queen Hatshepsut served as his regent. Originally, Queen Hatshepsut traditionally assumed this role of regent. But for undocumented reasons, he claimed the role of pharaoh. Technically, Hatshepsut did not usurp the pharaoh's crown, as Thutmose III was never deposed and was considered second in line in her lifetime. However, it is clear that Hatshepsut was the main ruler who ruled for the rest of her life. From then on, Hatshepsut began to depict herself in the traditional king's kilt and crown, along with a fake beard and a male body. It was not an attempt to trick people into thinking she was a man, but because there were no words or pictures to describe a woman with pharaonic status, it was a way of asserting her authority as pharaoh. Hatshepsut's transition from queen to pharaoh was a success. It is said that this was because of his ability to recruit supporters for his administration. Many of the men she chose were confidants of her father, Thutmose I. One of her most important advisors was Senenmut. She has long been among the queen's maids until Hatshepsut came to power. Some have speculated that he was Hatshepsut's lover. Under the pharaoh Hatshepsut, Egypt prospered. Unlike other ancient Egyptian rulers in his dynasty, he was more interested in ensuring economic prosperity and building and restoring monuments throughout Egypt and Nubia than in conquering new lands. He built the Djeser, most holy sanctuary, temple, which was dedicated to Amun and served as his funeral cult. Pharaoh Hatshepsut also erected a pair of red granite obelisks at the Temple of Amun at Karnak, one of which still stands today. Then, this female pharaoh had one famous trading expedition to the land of Punt in the 9th year of her reign. The ships returned with gold, ivory and myrrh. The scene was immortalized on the wall of the Temple of Amun at Karnak. Pharaoh Hatshepsut died in early February 1458 BC. In recent years, scientists have speculated that the cause of the death of this female pharaoh was related to an ointment used to relieve a chronic genetic skin condition that Hatshepsut had. It is thought by experts that the skin ointment used for Hatshepsut's treatment contained a toxic ingredient. Testing of artifacts near his grave has revealed traces of carcinogenic substances. Helmut Wiedenfeld of the University of Bonn's Institute of Pharmacy has asserted, if you imagine that the queen had a chronic skin disease and that she found short-term fixes from ointments, she may have exposed herself to great risks over the years. At the end of the reign of the pharaoh Hatshepsut, Thutmose III begins a campaign to erase the memory of Hatshepsut's rule. Thutmose III destroyed or damaged this monument to the 18th dynasty female pharaoh of ancient Egypt, removing many of her inscriptions and building a wall around her obelisk. While some believe this was the result of a long-standing grudge by Thutmose III, it was more likely a rigorous political attempt to solidify the line of succession and ensure that no one would oppose him and circumvent his son, Amenhotep II's reign, from filling the throne. Thank you for following our videos. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe so you can always follow video updates from us.